Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I like to specialize in the story of Call of Duty, and this is a video that I like to do every single year before the launch of a new Call of Duty game, where I try to correctly predict the entire story for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And essentially this year, hence being Black Ops 6, I have 6 predictions. Now, these aren't just like lame predictions like, oh, there will be a character who will die. These predictions include specific characters that I believe that will return and how, also which characters will die specifically, as well as cameos and things along those lines. Very specific things, none of which I have any evidence whatsoever of being real, but I predict them for specific reasons. And as we go through these several different things, you will see exactly why. And I'm going to start with the big one. I think this is going to be the big twist in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That is Alex Mason.
Woods killed Mason. He was tricked into killing his best friend Mason by, Raul Menendez, who kind of set up all this stuff in Panama. Huge moment.
The truth lies, right? And I truly believe that the motif of this entire Black Ops 6 story revolves around them lying about Alex Mason. I truly believe that he is alive and he is going to get the reverse Reznov treatment. In Black Ops 1, we were told that Reznov was alive, and by the very end of the game, we found out that indeed he was dead. In Black Ops 6, I truly believe that Alex Mason is going to be told to be dead the entire campaign, and by the very end, we are told he's alive. And I have a feeling that throughout the campaign, there's going to be these like breadcrumbs, like maybe Alex Mason is working behind the scenes, trying to give us information on specific characters, maybe on Pantheon, on the CIA, who's the mole, that kind of thing, and leaving us breadcrumbs. And by the time we finish the campaign, we find out that that person who is leaving those breadcrumbs is indeed Alex Mason. That's kind of how I see this working out by the very end of the game. And then indeed we find out that Alex Mason is alive, and then that tells us what the canon ending of Black Ops 2 was. Now, speaking of breadcrumbs, the next character that I believe is going to be involved but not directly in the campaign is Victor Reznov. Now, as we know, at the end of Black Ops 1, Victor Reznov was, well, kind of killed off. He kind of disappeared off into the distance after Vorkuta prison. And then at the end of Black Ops 1, we were told that he was just in Alex Mason's head the entire time. But Victor Reznov is deeply entrenched in the Black Ops story, in the Black Ops universe, and I truly believe that throughout this game, we are going to see little tidbits of him, specifically in two areas. Number one, we know that the safe house within Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is a KGB black site, a KGB headquarters, and I believe that we are going to find evidence in that safe house of Victor Reznov, of his past life, what he did before he was stuck into Vorkuta prison. Also, on top of that, another thing that we know is coming in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is we are going to Vorkuta prison. There will definitely, if not for sure, be evidence of Victor Reznov in that prison. And I don't know what we're doing there. I believe at this point the camp has been shut down. But yeah, I truly believe that we are definitely at least going to have a conversation about Victor Reznov, his role in the Black Ops 6 crew, and everything along those lines. Speaking of characters returning, I think another one who you're probably not so surprised I will say is returning is Raul Menendez. However, here's where my prediction comes in, because I think a lot of people are assuming he's going to be in the campaign. I don't actually think he's going to be in the campaign. I think Raul Menendez, they're going to pull a Vladimir Makarov, and they're going to put Raul Menendez in the post-credit scene. I think he is going to be the seasonal story for Black Ops 6. I think they are going to push forth his narrative because, as we've talked about, Call of Duty 2025 is said to be a sequel to Black Ops 2. So the part that takes place in 2025, this is going to take place like 10 years later in 2035 with David Mason and everything like that. Don't worry, we'll have him coming. And Raul Menendez, I think, is going to be teased as like this up-and-coming bad guy, maybe becoming a part of Pantheon, because Pantheon is the bad guy in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, speaking of Pantheon, let's talk about who the actual bad guy is in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So, as we know, throughout the entire campaign of Black Ops 6, we are hunting a mole, or moles, if you will. It has been told to us that that is indeed what they are doing. There are moles within the CIA, and these moles are working for a group of people named Pantheon. Who is the top guy in Pantheon? Well, one thing we do know is that Saddam Hussein is somehow involved in Pantheon. But there's got to be the mole. There's got to be the inside man. And I think without a shadow of a doubt, we've seen the inside man. And I think what we are going to see is that Daniel Livingstone, the director of the CIA, is indeed going to be the bad guy. I think you can just take one look at him and be like, oh yeah, he's evil. Yeah, he's evil for sure. But I also think we are going to find out that he had people working underneath him. Specifically, the person working underneath Livingstone would have been Jason Hudson. He had some sort of dirt on him that then he could use as leverage to basically make us and show us that indeed he is evil and he is one of the head people working within Pantheon. Now, the final two, we get really nitty gritty. The first one, David Mason. So as we know, based off of my predictions, Alex Mason is alive. But if we're going with the story of Black Ops 2, he cannot be out in public. Now, what is that reason? Could it be that he is in hiding to protect David Mason from Raul Menendez? That is kind of what makes the most sense, because Raul Menendez has this picture of Alex Mason being dead, and if he's not dead, he will use the people close to Alex Mason, like David Mason, like Frank Woods, as leverage against him, and it's kind of this vicious cycle. So until Raul Menendez is gone, dead, out of the picture, he has to remain in hiding, which leaves us with David Mason. He is going to at least get mentioned. One of the things that goes on in Black Ops 6 is you can go to the safe house, and at the safe house, you can have conversations with the various different characters. So, as the various different characters, I believe that Frank Woods is definitely going to mention David Mason. If not, we'll get a brief cutscene with him in it, or mentions of it, or what is going on with him, just to give us a little background information to what's up with Little Mason going forward. Then we have deaths. Now this one is interesting because I technically have two deaths that I believe are going to happen. One that I think for sure, the other one is something that I should have a prediction on, but I don't as of yet. So the first one, let's make it obvious. Jane Harrow. I believe that Jane Harrow, who is kind of the CIA handler for Frank Woods, Troy Marshall, Russell Adler, kind of like the spokesperson for our group of misfits, is Jane Harrow. I believe that she is going to die for a couple of reasons. First of all of the other characters in the group have been kind of proven that they're trying to expand their story. Like even Helen Park, we see them adding in more story. Troy Marshall, we know he's in the multiplayer. Adler, we know he's in the multiplayer. People love him. They're not going to want to kill him. Frank Woods, he can't die if the Black Ops 2 story is canon because he's in a wheelchair in 2025. Which leaves us with Jane Harrow. I believe she is going to die. I am not sure how. If you have any predictions, and speaking of which, if you do have any further predictions than what I have said in this video, let me know down in the comments. Then we have the other one. This is the most mysterious thing about this campaign, if you ask me, and that is Case, the character who we play, aka William Cauldron. He is the character that you play, the first person character. You also go in and out of some other characters, I believe, like Suvati Dumas you play as in one mission, things like that. Now, I have a feeling that there's going to be some sort of twist with William Cauldron. I don't think he's going to be like a Russian asset or anything like that, but I think it is completely possible that he, the guy you play as, is evil, is actually one of the moles within the CIA. And maybe you don't know it or know what's going on, and it's going to tie directly in to another one of the new things in Black Ops 6, which is the Advanced Technology and Applications Division. So I think William Cauldron as Case, the character you play in, is directly tied with Advanced Technologies and Applications Division, which is a sect within the CIA, which I believe is going to be run by Daniel Livingstone, who is the leader of Pantheon. So you, William Cauldron, aka Case, are working underneath Daniel Livingstone and are being brainwashed, aka MK Ultra, somehow within this Advanced Technologies and Application Division, which we can see throughout some of the cutscenes that have already been put out for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I hope that made sense. So just to summarize, my predictions include Mason returns, he is alive. Viktor Reznov comes back, but maybe in flashbacks or maybe intel that we find throughout it, he kind of tells us what is going on with the Russian side. And I think Perseus is going to be mentioned, and this kind of like background Russian characters are all going to be still in there. Raul Menendez, I believe, is going to make a return, but only in the post-credit scene to be a part of the seasonal story for Black Ops 6. Daniel Livingstone the director of the CIA. I believe he is evil. I believe he's the leader of Pantheon and directing the Advanced Technologies and Applications Division, which is kind of like this high-tech, brainwash, advanced technology, and will also, side prediction, the Advanced Technologies and Application Division will be how there is advanced technologies in the year 2025, explaining the technology gap in Black Ops 2 compared to present day in Modern Warfare series. Makes sense? We also have David Mason. There will be mention of him, and the deaths will be Jane Harrow, our handler within the CIA, and maybe Case. I think Case is going to be evil. I think we play as an evil character because we really haven't done that one before. We've played as a bad guy turned good with Bell, but we've never literally played in a Black Ops game as the bad guy. And for that matter, I think we've never played in a Call of Duty game as straight up a bad guy. So those are my predictions. We'll see. Like a couple weeks after the campaign comes out, I'll probably watch this video on my second channel, and we'll see how much I got right. But those are my predictions. Let me know what yours are down in the comments. If you're hyped for the campaign, be sure to hit that like button. We are going to be streaming it at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 24th. So like the day before launch. But yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, on Twitch. Be there, be square. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know what your predictions are. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.